Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joyce from BoQ Creations, and I'm coming to you today to show you some other ways that I have found to use the Nouveau shimmer powders. So I had lots of questions about this at my last show, so I thought that I would just play. Hi, Ann. Thank you for watching. I hope everybody's doing well today. I'll give them just a second to get on because I know that everybody. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for watching today. So the first thing I did was, by no means is this all the colors that they have, but this just happens to be all the ones that I have. So I just wanted to swatch them out so that you guys could kind of see like the beautiful colors in there. I don't know if you can catch that shimmer in there, but that's what it's all about. Hi, Joseph. I'm surprised you made it today. I hope you're feeling better. You didn't sleep through this one. Anyway, I'm just giving Joseph a hard time. He deserves it. So anyway, so I wanted to show you some of the beautiful colors that they have. I still have a few more to go, so I wanted to just kind of, but my favorite lately is these Catherine Wheel and this Golden Sparkler. So I just wanted to show you guys how beautiful those are. Let me just, okay. So what I thought I would do today is show you some different ways that I found to use just simple embossing folders and the shimmer powders. So when I do that, you can really see the shimmer on these cards. And if you look here, I've got like these splatter marks. That's the Golden Sparkler. So it really adds like a grungy type, you know, mixed media kind of effect. And on this one, I wanted to see how it would react on black. So I'm going to show you a couple of the ways that I created these, and then if you guys have any questions about how to use these, I thought that I would try to answer some. So I just take one of these little empty palettes. You get these at the Dollar Tree for like $1. I think there's 6 or 7 of them for $1. Hi, Terry. Yes, thank you. My husband is doing much better. Thank you, thank you. I was getting worried about him because he doesn't normally get sick. And when he does, you know, they're big babies and they have to be coddled. So I wanted to show you another black one that I did. I am absolutely in love with this one. So this was just a regular embossing folder, and I ran it through the Big Shot on the deboss side, and I took Versamark and I just put it on the embossing folder on the raised, you know, the part of the embossing folder that's raised. Let me see if I can grab it here. So this is normally how an embossing folder goes, and this is the part that is inset, but this part right here is raised. And if you just barely put some Versamark on there and then run it through the Big Shot like you normally do, it'll give you these grooves, and it'll put embossing Versamark down inside these grooves, and then you can just shake the embossing powder on top of it. So I thought those gold lines were much better than when it was just black. I thought that really gave it a pop. But I didn't do 2 of these, so I just wanted to show you. But I thought we would go ahead and do this one today. And I'm actually going to use the emboss side of this because it actually gives like a little well, if you would, or a kind of a dam for the water, and it doesn't go anywhere. Like it doesn't, you know, spread all over the card. So this is just regular black cardstock, and I thought that I would show you how to use these. I just took them and shook them a little bit at a time. Let me see if there's one that needs to be filled. Yes, this purple one. So I'm just going to take and just put like a little shake into the well with no water. I'm just going to put the powder in there. And then I'm going to take my water brush with nothing but water. Let me grab my paper towel so I can blot it off. Okay. So I'm just going to take my water brush and I'm going to pick up some of this color, just like a big glop of it. It doesn't matter. You're not going for perfection here. But I thought that I would show you how beautiful these colors come out on black. I really didn't think that it would be that like gorgeous on black, but the shimmer and the color just really give it a beautiful effect. Look at that. And this is on black. So I thought, well, let me see what would happen if I painted these inside of the embossed lines. And then what it does is it kind of gives you, you know, a little wall here so that the water doesn't leak all over the place. And then you can go in and just add more or spread it out if you want, you know, areas of lighter and darker gradation. It's really neat. And on the black cardstock, it's just so shimmery and so impressive. And I know that we've all got thousands and thousands of different embossing folders that we could use this technique with. So I was trying to do something that would be, you know, that everybody would have. So I want to pick up some of this other blue here. This is Blue Blitz. And I'm just gonna, you know, like let my water brush get a little bit of the water in there. And then I'm gonna go into this bottom one here. Let me move this up so you guys can see. Look at that color. Isn't that amazing? And Joseph, I hope you appreciate, but I didn't do pink today, okay? I tried to make sure that everything that I'm not doing is pink, because I know Joseph likes to see the blues and greens, because he's not a pink kind of guy, even though we all like the pink. Sorry, I can't paint and talk at the same time. So look at that blue, and that is so electric. Look at that. Gosh, I love that. Okay. So, and all I'm doing is just wiping my brush off on a paper towel until it's clean. If you guys haven't used these water brushes, they're amazing. Now this other color green Parade, this one I'm absolutely in love with this year too. Look at that. So as I'm putting it on, I just want you to know that I'm getting a huge like clump of it on my brush, and I'm starting from the top and I'm working in, and as I do that, the water kind of dilutes it a little bit, and so when it dries you get this like ombre effect, kind of where it's a little bit less intense down towards the bottom than it is at the top. And I think that that just adds to the effect of these shimmer powders. And on the black, oh my goodness, this stuff is amazing. So I will do one on the white just to show you, because I also did one on vellum, because I'm the type of person that I want to see, you know, what would happen if you do it on this, on watercolor, on vellum, on black, just because I like to see, you know, all the different effects. Look at that. Tell me that's not beautiful. Okay, so let me show you the one that I did on vellum. So I embossed with an embossing folder this image on vellum, and it kind of I think my Big Shot machine is like really you know, it's got a lot of pressure, because it kind of crinkled my cardstock a little bit, but it's okay, because when you end up making the card or whatever it is that you're creating, let me bring that in. So you can see that I just painted right inside the lines. And then what I did that was kind of unique, I think, I'm gonna use this green Parade because it's really, really intense green. And I think that that other one was kind of like the Falling Leaves. I don't think it was as good a green for that red as this one is. So I'm gonna do this one again. And again, I'm just painting right inside of the lines, and I'm actually taking my brush and kind of covering up that white there because I think that it looks more impressive without the white lines. So I'm just taking my brush and I'm just kind of covering. Look how far a little bit of that shimmer powder went. So you can really get a lot for your money with these shimmer powders, because they obviously you know, cover a long way. So I'm just gonna do this one other leaf, and then I will show you guys the other techniques that I discovered. So when I get a product, I always tend to sit down and just play with it and figure out what else can be done with this product. And so I thought that I would sit down and just kind of like figure out all the different things that you could do with these. And just so you guys know, at this moment I am not seeing any comments from you guys, so I'm not trying to ignore anybody. It's just my phone is not, my camera's not giving me the comments, so I apologize. I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, let me see if it'll scroll. Okay, there's, hi Susan, hi Tilda. Okay, I figured it out. Hi Joseph. Oh my gosh, Diane Prince. Hi Ann. Oh my gosh, all the love today. Hi Charmin. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hi Susan, now I see you. Hi Joan. Okay, good. Now I'm seeing the comments. So anyway, so I thought that that was just like amazing how that turns out. So I thought that what I would do is, let me just put that card up there so you can see that again. So this is watercolor paper. And I took the same image and I embossed it on watercolor cardstock. And I thought, well, I wonder, you know, if I use the watercolor cardstock, if it'll be any different than, you know, the other one. So I'm gonna, when I tried it on watercolor before, on watercolor paper, I'm trying to find the sample that I had earlier, it didn't spread as well. And let me show you what I mean. So I'm gonna take the Falling Leaves, which is this one. If you guys see, do you see the flecks in there? Those little flecks of color? That's why I like these, because it's not just one set color. It's mostly the green, but there are little flecks of different colors in there so that you can, you know, be free to pick up different tones and stuff with your projects. You can have a little bit of red with this green because there's a little bit in the powder. So I'm just gonna pick up some of that green and I'm gonna paint this leaf, and I wanna show you the difference. So you could just do this. You could just paint directly on here and then have a kind of like a guide to make a beautiful watercolor, because I know I'm not good at watercoloring, and I'm one of those that likes it to be perfect, and watercoloring just is not a perfect kind of thing. So, but then what I found out is if you take and because you see how that's kind of like, I mean, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but it's not moving around on that cardstock like watercolors normally do. So what I thought I would do is take and just spritz my cardstock before, you know, and just kind of get it a little bit wet, because this is watercolor cardstock, and I know that watercolors behave better on the cardstock if it's moistened. So I thought that I would go in here with the same color again and see if it makes a difference. Oh yeah, it goes much smoother. I don't know if you guys, let me turn this around so you guys can see this. So it's already starting to spread a little bit better. And so I'm gonna get a nicer watercolor effect with less effort. And you'll see what I'm talking about when you go and spread it on. Okay, and I'm gonna try this Catherine wheel. This is absolutely the most gorgeous red. Look at that. I hope y'all can see that. This Catherine wheel, when you paint with it like this, and I know we did that that YouTube live where I showed you how to put it on the glossy HP paper. Well, you can do the same thing. You can emboss the HP paper and then have an image to work with on your glossy paper, and I bet that would be absolutely beautiful. So let me just bring this up to the camera and show you guys. So you can see that it behaves a little bit differently. So this is the one without the cardstock being wet, and then this is the one with it. So it's kind of moving around a little bit, and you're getting that bleed effect because it's wet. So it just depends on what you want to do with it. I mean, if you want it to behave beautifully and stay within the lines and not, you know, be mushy, then do it that way. But if you want it to kind of, you know, bleed into the card and kind of look very watercolory, then go ahead and spray it. I really don't think, it's all up to you how you want to do it. And I just love that when it dries, it's so shimmery. Look at that. So I won't bore you with finishing that because you guys already saw the sample. But this is one that I did, and I took the gold after the red dried, and I just kind of like put it right there and a little bit right there, just to kind of add some color to it. I put too much water, so I'm gonna have to see, that happens, guys. Don't do as I do, do as I say, because, well, I know that I'm gonna mess it up if I keep messing around with it. But let me touch it back up with some gold. So I just thought that I would add a little bit of the gold in here so that it could pick up some Christmas tones and some gold in my the gold from my ribbon. So, but anyway, isn't that gorgeous? Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to show you is, like, yeah, that's all fine and good when it's cards, or, you know, when you're trying to do a scrapbook page or something, you want to put an image on there. So I thought, well, how can I use this in my everyday crafting and my application of crafts? Well, I had these, I went to Michael's, and I guess that if you had mulberry paper and Susan's rose dye, I just didn't have any mulberry paper to do that. I bet you could go ahead and make one of these, and it would probably, you know, do the same thing. Anne says I need more shimmer powder. Okay, Anne, you just let me know, because don't forget, guys, that anything sold in the month of October at BoQ Creations, 10% of it goes to the Vera Bradley Breast Cancer Foundation. So if you need your shimmer powders, now's the time to get it, because you'll get your shimmer powders and you'll be helping someone. So that's got to make you feel good. Okay, so the other thing that I did, I found these mulberry paper flowers at Michael's, and they were $1.50, and they were just white. And of course they're not as beautiful as our Susan's English Rose, but you know, it'll do in a pinch. So I turned that into this with the shimmer powders. Isn't that amazing? Like, I just thought that that was so unique. And let me show you how I did that. Obviously you could use any color, but this is the Catherine wheel. And I don't know if you can pick up some of those yellow tones in there. I just thought that that made it look so, so beautiful. So I'll show you how I did that. So this is one of those flowers, and I went in, let me spray this off camera. I sprayed this with water. I don't want to get everything wet on my station here. My powders will be all gunky. Okay, so I just spritzed it with some water. And then I came in, and I think I'm going to use cherry balm this time instead of the red, since I already have one like that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more cherry balm to my well over here. Let me bring it in, and I'm going to take my my large brush, and then I'm just going to go in and pick up some of this cherry balm, and I'm going to start at the edges and just work my way around. And I'm just working my way around the edges, just like this. And what that mulberry paper will do is it'll pick up that color and it'll bleed it down using capillary action, and it'll just like a paper towel, and it'll bleed it down into the bottom of the rose there. So the more that you add to it, my goodness, look at that shimmer on that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And it's very little effort to do this because the water's doing most of the work. So I'm just going to go in and just keep dabbing on this 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 shimmer powder. Look at that. And so it's doing all the work for you. So then I went, and after, I mean, I guess you could leave it just like that, huh? That'd be beautiful. But I went in and I spritzed it one more time to get the rose nice and wet. And then I just added some more. I'm out of shimmer powder in my well. Okay. Sorry about that. Thought I had enough. Okay. So then I'm going to just right here where it would be darker normally in the center, I'm just going to go in and add more of this powder, and remember, if you do it with a water brush, you can control the water as you're putting it on. So if you feel like it needs more water or you want it a little bit more wet, then you can just, push your brush, and it's going to take the water down inside of the flower even more. So, and then when it dries, you have a beautiful flower that is unlike anything anybody has ever seen. And I suppose that you could do this with your Susan's Gardens flowers if you did them on mulberry paper or watercolor. I'm not sure because I haven't tried it, so I will have to do I wonder what happens if. But look at that. Aren't those gorgeous? So I thought that would be really, really pretty for some, white flowers that you have. And then the last thing that I want to show you, let me get it over here, is a resist technique. So this one right here, I went and I stamped some snowflakes on a piece of watercolor cardstock because I wanted to see what would happen if I could resist these. And my mistake was, even though this came out beautifully, but my mistake was that I put these in clear. I didn't use white. So when I did it again, science lesson 2. Of course, I can't go 1 minute without doing something scientific, and I wonder what would happen if, right? Caitlin's watching, she knows. So what I thought I would do is show you guys the proper way to do this resist technique. And I actually went ahead off camera and I recreated the same one, and let me see if I can catch those. Can you catch those snowflakes on there? So I actually embossed it, but I used white embossing powder instead of the clear. So I think it's going to show a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to move these out of the way and bring this into the camera a little bit. I know it's a lot of, you'll see it in just a second because, so I want, this is watercolor cardstock, by the way. So I'm going to go ahead and spritz this. And for those of you that don't know, I'm working on my Tim Holtz Tonic Glass Matte. And with this kind of technique, guys, this is the best. I can just clean it up. It's not a big deal. You know, it's just, so I'm going to spread this water around and make sure that my cardstock is sufficiently wet. And it's important that you clean off your surface before you do this, because I don't know if you can tell, but I have a couple of flecks of red in here from where the previous color has gotten all over my cardstock. But it's okay. It's all good. Okay, so I'm going to use, I don't know, do you think we should use the blue? How about the purple? The purple will be nice. Okay, so the key with using these is that you don't want to squeeze them, you want to tap them. So you see how there's very little powder coming out when I do that, but you can already see that it's reacting with the water on the paper. And that's what I kind of like about this, is that it gives it a really neat effect that's different than anything that you've used to do. So that's all I'm going to use, and I'm going to take my large water brush and I'm just going to go in and just moisten this up a little bit more, and you'll see those snowflakes starting to show up. And I'm not ruining the colors that are already there. I'm not trying to mix them. I'm just trying to add some water to those snowflakes so that they will, you know, show up. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now, when this dries, and here's the key, you do not want to use a heat gun. Let this dry on its own. Let it be, because you're going to push the colors around and maybe even ruin your embossing. So, you know, try to resist the urge to, you know, to really get your heat gun out. So I'm just taking and just dabbing this in so that I will have intense colors in places, and then it's kind of running on its own in other places. And then what I'm going to do is, after it dries, I'm going to go in, especially where there's white areas, like right here, and I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just going to do like that. Just very free. You know, this is not something that you want perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. And then all of a sudden, now your snowflakes are showing up. Your believe is coming out. It's much better when you use the white, because the clear just doesn't show up. Now, don't worry if your snowflakes look kind of, you know, waterlogged, because when this dries, you'll go in with a baby wipe and just wipe this very gently, and all those snowflakes will show up. You know, you could even go in, if you wanted to, at this point, and if you wanted to highlight the snowflakes a little bit more, you just add a little bit more of the powder. Just tap it on right where the snowflakes are, and maybe the believe, because I want the background to be a little bit darker. Just right around. And when this dries, this is going to be very, you know, in areas that's going to really highlight those snowflakes a lot. And the shimmer is unbelievable. So I'm just pouncing this in and squeezing my brush a little bit so I can get some water, because I don't want it to be too, you know, I don't want the lines to show up. I just want some more color around these snowflakes. And then there you go. Now you have a very beautiful wintry card background. What do y'all think about that? So I just thought that was just so pretty. So anyway, I'm going to go and finish these. I just wanted to show you a couple more that I did. This was one that I did with a sparkle powder, but it didn't come out as well as I wanted it to. I wanted those holographic snowflakes to come out. So I did it once with the holographic, once with the clear, and once with the white. And I think the white just really shows up better. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed this little tutorial. I want you to know not to be afraid to use your black cardstock, because it is gorgeous and those colors come out even more. Let me move this out of the way so I can So I can, it's stuck. There we go. Okay. Move that out of the way. I'll let you guys look at the colors. See, it just wipes right up. Love it. Love it, love it. And don't forget that we've got the mats coming in, the small ones. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Here's the vellum one. Here's the black cardstock. Here's our roses that we did. And here's our, let's see. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope that you will try. I'd like to see some of your techniques, so please make sure that you post these, and so we can see what you've done. If you have any questions or you'd like to get any of these Tonic Shimmer powders, please private message me and we'll take care of you. So I hope you have a great day, guys. Everybody, thank you for coming, and we'll see you again next Sunday. Bye.